why we're here. We want to change that mindset.
Of
We want
course.
you guys to say, you know what, let's give it a go. What have you got to lose? Really though,
They haven't got nothing to
you
lose.
know,
You know, it's
clubs in the north, clubs in the south, east, and west. What have you got to lose?
the whole of the
Give
UK. They need to get up.
give your feedback,
Exactly.
and let's see what BAFA's going to do with it. Let's see.
I mean, they need to look at it with open eyes instead of looking at it's just their part of the game. No, this is the whole. We're talking about the whole thing because if one starts working, it will trickle down until the last one, and vice versa. So you need to everything is happening. It's happening, but it's going to take time. You have to allow them to let them do what they need to do, but you have to give them feedback in order to let them do what they need to do. You can't expect them to do it if they're not on the ground. They don't come to every game, so you've got opportunity now to speak up and tell them exactly how it is on the ground on that day, blah blah blah.
Right.
Do that,
Right.
Even
though it's not really positioned to coaches and players as such. People, if you're out there, if you're seeing this podcast, throw your views back to us. Just reply to when you see this on social media. Maybe on Insta, maybe Facebook, maybe Twitter, maybe TikTok. Give us your feedback, and let's see what you say. It doesn't matter if it's bad feedback, it matters if it's positive feedback. Feedback is feedback.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back, peeps. This is Ballaz in the Middle. This is a weekday. We don't normally do this, but it's like a weekday, a little podcast me and Hutch going to have. It's about what's going on in BAFA. We're going to talk about the opportunities that the players, the coach, hopefully the players and the coaches will have opportunity to voice their thoughts on how the league is running, and they've got opportunity to speak up, and we're trying to right now put some more information out there so that they can do this, because at the moment the BAFA has sent out some what's the word I'm looking for, Hutch? Jesus, not lost for thought. They've already put information out there, but it seems like no one's actually jumping on it. So we're just trying to, follow up on that and try to get them out there and get them to say what they need to say. Because this is the only way this is going to move forward. At the end of the day, it's all good and well speaking to like me and Hutch when we're down at a game or something like that, and you voice your opinion. You now have the opportunity to voice your opinion. So don't sell yourself short. Jump on the platform that they've created and tell your story. What's your thoughts on it, Hutch?
Well, my thoughts on this is this is a repetitive year-on-year, from my understanding, approach that BAFA take. Okay, and again, we're back around to that time of the year where it's that BAFA contact football review. Okay, it's a review. It's not just contact football, actually. It's reviewing all the other pillars as well. But it's just an opportunity for club members to view their opinions on how the league is today, and their vision of what they want to see in the future. May that be like around the structure of the game. May that be around like the semi-pro league and national programs. These are areas that are going to be areas of discussion. minimum standards for clubs and teams, international player eligibility. These are just some of the subjects that are going to be on the table. And, you know, I think you know, this is an absolute great opportunity for teams that are in BAFA. Every team, from my understanding, every team in BAFA is going to be notified about this via email. It's going to go to the GMs or to a representative in each team, and they will be able to give their feedback to this forum. That's my understanding of it. But in my opinion, even though teams have been banging a drum year on year about wanting change and not seeing change, I think this is just another opportunity for teams to make themselves heard.
Okay.
Make themselves heard. It's a change. There's been a change of the guard with regards to the BAFA and the board, etc. We all know about Pete Ackley and his vision and his strategy with regards to where he wants to see football. You know, we've seen. I'm sure you can agree, Roa. We've seen some change in women's American football, flag American football. That's another big one.
Mm-hmm.
We would obviously want to see, and we've been saying this in previous podcasts, man. I said before when we had Georgia Sports on the show, I'm selfish. I want to see the change in adult football, and
yeah,
you know,
I understand that.
But if people decide to get up and, you know, take advantage of this, which that's why we're asked. This is why we're doing this podcast, man. It's all about trying to raise the awareness of this event, right? That's what we do.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's about raising the awareness of British American football in this country, and in this scenario, it's about raising the awareness of this event. Okay, and even though it's not really positioned to coaches and players as such, people, if you're out there, if you're seeing this podcast, you know, throw your views back to us. You know, just reply to when you see this on social media. Maybe on Insta, maybe Facebook, maybe Twitter, maybe TikTok. Give us your feedback, and let's see what you say. It doesn't matter if it's bad feedback, it matters if it's positive feedback. Feedback is feedback.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, what do you like? You're saying like this is year on year. You know, this happens every year. You know, we've spoken to, you know, quite a few players, coaches, and so on. And what do you feel that they are afraid to speak up? I mean, it seems like they've got this opportunity, and they could tell them like it is, you know, at the end of the day, but they're choosing not to. Why do you think that?
I don't think they're afraid. I think because they've been banging a drum and hearing the same beat year on year, they're tired of banging a drum. That's my opinion. That's Hutch's opinion. Okay. But what we're here, that's why we're here. We want to change that mindset. We want you guys to say, you know what? Let's give it a go. What have you got to lose? Really though.
They haven't got nothing to lose.
You know, clubs in the north, clubs in the south, east, and west. What have you got to lose?
The whole of the UK. They need to get up.
Give your feedback.
Exactly.
And let's see what BAFA's going to do with it. Let's see.
I mean, the reason we're doing this because we want to raise awareness, especially from where we've come from. You know, Hutch was talking about, you know, it's the women's, the flag football, the uni football, but you know, we're so want to drive the whole platform. You know, but our main goal is I wouldn't say main goal, but it's just to get the awareness of the whole game. You know, it doesn't matter what it is, but we would like to see, you know, kid football, you know, male or female, just you know, to get to recognition that it needs to get to again. And there's no reason why it shouldn't. If there's people out there, you know, that have to voice their opinion, they need to voice it, because that's the only way it's going to move forward. It's not going to move forward by talking to, you know, people on the sideline that can't do anything. They've got opportunity now to talk to BAFA, talk to them, let them know what you're unhappy about, what you're happy about, and that's the only way it's going to move forward. You know, you have to take this opportunity. So that's hence why we've done this podcast to raise the awareness, like Harsh says, and try to get it out there so people could know that it's there, know that they could go on this platform and tell it like it is. And also, like Harsh just said, get on here. We don't care. Negative, positive, whatever you got to say, you just say it. If you say it, we'll feed it back to them. You know, if that's what you want us to do, we'll do that. You know, at the end of the day, we want it to get back to the good glory days, you know, because that's the only way it's going to move forward. That's the only way this game is going to get better again.
I want to see this. I want to see the adult game. You know, I want to see it being professionalized, man. You know, it can't continue the way it is, because if it continues the way it is, it's not going to get better. There has to be some change, and I'm you know, and as we are saying to all of you, like clubs and member clubs, etc. Open your mouth, talk. You know, give BAFA feedback, positive, negative, around those areas that I mentioned before. Structure of the game, your feedback on, you know, semi-pro and a semi-pro league, as in professionalizing, having one super league as such. Give you feedback about it and how you foresee it happening. Do we mirror and model it against like the USFL and how they do it?
And the EFL,
You know,
European
you see what I'm saying? You
yeah.
know, like I mentioned before, you know, what are the minimum standards for clubs and teams? And the other big one is international player eligibility. We've got to get them back. They've got to come back into this league and play the game, because they raised the game the game operationally on the field. Let's face it. Let's stick with facts here. Okay, they do.
The wicked thing is, like, we have the talent. It's not like we don't have it, but we need to create that super league. So we can keep the talent here and grow the talent here and give them an opportunity, even like the youngsters opportunity, in order to play this game here. And if they decide, oh, you know what, I want to take this further, you know, I want to go to university and go down that path, at least build it up here instead of jumping straight into Europe. You know, you have this opportunity to speak out. You have to take it. You know, it's so positive. It's so positive that you do that. It doesn't matter what you say. You have to get it. You have to say it. You know, some people don't like the truth, but you got to tell it like it is. You know, that's the only way we're going to move forward. And go on, sorry. Go on.
Bro. Yes, so BAFA's got a URL out. They've got a link with regards to what we're talking about. It's the title of it is BAFA Contact Football Review. What we'll do is, when we put this podcast out, we'll put that link on there too, so you can go to it and you can see what we're talking about. Okay, and like I mentioned before, ballers, coaches, ex-ballers, give us the feedback on the platforms, and let's hear what you got to let's hear what you got to say about this. You know, and also, it's not just so we're being clear here, it's not just going to be, from my understanding, all the clubs' collective feedback. You know, BAFA are also going to go out to you know, other sports regarding best practices and liaising with external experts and other key stakeholders for their opinions too, and they're going to mash it all up, and hopefully they're going to come out with a result. Why not be part of that result? You know what I mean?
You know, it needs to happen. It's you know, like, you know, Hutch said earlier, the change in the guy that has happened, he's trying to create something different. You know, he's trying to come away from the old thing. You know, everyone's looking back on what happened before. We can't do that anymore. You can't look in the past. We've got to look in the present. So we have to move forward. We have to see what they're doing now and what they're trying to do and what they have done, and look at that as, okay, it's moving forward. You know, and people need to understand, if you plant a seed, it ain't going to grow overnight. It's going to take time to grow. Nothing happens overnight. And I think people forget how in life in general, everything takes time. Nothing doesn't happen before its time. It has to take its time to grow to get to where it needs to get to. Everyone expects it to happen like this. It can't happen like that. It's not going to happen like that.
But you have to look at the facts here and how much time do BAFA need. Okay, this is going to be some of the heartfelt feelings about this. You look at BAFA. BAFA's been going on for over 35 years, man. So over 35 years, and there's been an effort of X's and O's banging a drum for a good 3 to 5 years about the same thing, and they're puffed out, like what George said, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
So
but they're trying to change.
You can understand.
I'm not disagreeing
what the landscape looks like.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, and I've spoken to some coaches, up north and down south, and the theme is kind of like the same. But it's just about trying to change that mindset and just trying to get those people to say, you know what, let's just give another go. What do we have to lose?
I think it's because they haven't, because the change is happening like really small. They don't see that. They expect it to happen like massively, but nothing happens like that.
Well, in my opinion, if you take a look at the changes that have happened and that has happened within the last 3 to 4 years, we're talking about pre-COVID to date, there's been some changes, all right.
Of course there have.
And people can see those changes. There's definitely been changes. Not in all of the pillars, no, but there's definitely been changes, positive changes. I can say that.
And
I think people could say that too, but people that are
because they're not in that pillar.
No, but people, if they look at it holistically, they will see that those changes have been made, and if they lean on that, why wouldn't they then give an opinion? But let's see what it looks like.
They need to look at it with open eyes instead of looking at it's just their part of the game. No, this is the whole. We're talking about the whole thing, because if one starts working, it will trickle down until the last one, and vice versa. So you need to everything is happening. It's happening, but it's going to take time. You have to allow them to let them do what they need to do, but you have to give them feedback in order to let them do what they need to do. You can't expect them to do it if they're not on the ground. They don't come to every game, so you've got opportunity now to speak up and tell them exactly how it is on the ground on that day, blah blah blah. Right. Do that,
right?
And that's that's the big companies. They need people on the ground in order to make changes. So tell them. Because those bigger companies, other companies do that. They get that information, and that's how they grow. So BAFA is trying to do the same thing. Tell them what you need to tell them. However you need to get the information to them, get the information to them. That way, you can start seeing change across the 5 pillars. You know what I mean? Pillars, sorry. And then eventually it will get to where it needs to get to, and then everyone could be happy and say, "Oh, this pillar's good, that pillar's good, that pillar's good. We're all good. We're all rolling now." But if you don't give them the information to move forward, no one can help you.
So we do know that BAFA has reached out to every club member with an email. I think it's through a portal that they'll communicate with. Yep. And so no team ain't got no excuse, man. I mean, they've got an opportunity to feedback what they want to say, run up them out, let them understand how they feel, which is great. The opportunity is there. Let's hope that team members, they take it. But in parallel with that, I just want to reiterate, coaches, players, GMs, people that don't have the opportunity to speak on that forum, speak on our forum. Give us some feedback on, like I mentioned before, on our social media platforms, and it won't be a secret. Everyone will be able to see everyone's feedback, including BAFA seeing the feedback, and they'll take it on board.
That's the reason why we created this platform, to do that very thing. No bar, baby. It's no hard bars on here. You can say whatever you need to say, and we'll get it out there.
It ain't always going to be clean. It ain't always going to be clean. Sometimes it's going to get messy. And if it needs to get messy to make the changes, let's get messy.
We'll do it. We'll take that. Our shoulders are broad enough to do that. We'll do all of that. And we'll get that information to them, but it needs to happen. So like I said earlier, if you don't want to go to your club and tell them the information, you share it with us in our comments. If you want your name out there, we'll tell them who it is. If you don't, we'll get them the information. But that's what we're trying to do. So on that note, I hope you heard us. And please, any comments you got on it or anything, just put it down below and let us know. We'll pass it on. And on that one, you know how we do.
We sure do. We ain't done this in a while, man. Right about now, it's the truth, though. It's the truth. What I'm going to tell you is the truth.
No doubt.
Good rice.
Let me hear it, man. Let me hear it.
I will do. Good rice, good meat, good God. Let's eat.
Let's eat.